By the time the first sip touched her lips, it was already too late. On a January afternoon in 2016, three friends gathered at a Jakarta cafe. They were young women, laughing and reconnecting over coffee after years apart. Minutes later, one of them, 27-year-old Wayan Myrna, was dead. Her collapse was sudden, violent, and baffling. What should have been a simple reunion unraveled into one of Indonesia's most polarizing murder trials in recent memory. At its center stood Jessica Kamala Wongso, the friend who ordered Myrna's Vietnamese iced coffee before she arrived. The ensuing case would captivate a nation, ignite debate over forensic standards, media influence, and judicial fairness, and leave the world asking, was justice truly served, or did Indonesia convict someone on little more than suspicion and spectacle? At the heart of the controversy lies a crucial absence, a full autopsy. Upon Myrna's death, her family, grieving, distraught, and wary of further trauma, initially refused one. Later, under police urging, they agreed to limited internal sampling. The medical team extracted tissue from Myrna's stomach, liver, and gallbladder, but stopped short of a comprehensive autopsy. To the public and to experts alike, this omission was staggering. In suspicious deaths, forensic autopsies are standard investigative tools worldwide. Without one, the foundation of the prosecution's argument, that Myrna was poisoned with cyanide, stood on unstable ground. Indeed, several forensic professionals questioned the cause of death, noting that cyanide levels found in Myrna's body weren't consistent with a fatal dose. Others disagreed, asserting the evidence was sufficient. Still, no conclusive scientific consensus ever emerged. What should have been black and white, life or death by poison, remained a murky gray. What was presented at trial read more like an intricate puzzle missing its corner pieces. There was no eyewitness who saw Jessica tamper with the coffee. No fingerprint-laden vial of poison. No dramatic confession. Instead, prosecutors relied heavily on circumstantial evidence. Jessica had arrived early to the cafe, ordered Myrna's drink, and placed it before her seat. Then, she acted oddly on CCTV, fidgeting and checking her phone, behavior prosecutors painted as nervousness or guilt. But experts were divided on how to interpret the footage, and whether Jessica's behavior proved anything at all. Could someone truly be convicted on ambiguous body language and disputed toxicology alone? Jessica maintained her innocence throughout. Her legal team argued that without a confirmed cause of death, without a clear motive, and without direct evidence, the case amounted to speculation. Despite this, on October 27, 2016, after 32 court sessions, Jessica was sentenced to 20 years in prison for premeditated murder. If the courtroom trial unfolded with uncertainty, the trial in the court of public opinion was anything but. The Indonesian media followed every twist and turn obsessively. The public couldn't get enough. Talk shows dissected Jessica's facial expressions. Magazines printed lurid headlines, and memes flooded social media. Then came the Netflix documentary Ice Cold: Murder, Coffee, and Jessica Wongso, which reignited global interest and raised fresh questions. The film presented a more sympathetic portrait of Jessica, reframing the case as one marred by media bias, prosecutorial overreach, and judicial ambiguity. It suggested what many already feared. Jessica may have been convicted not by evidence, but by narrative. The academic review presented in the document dives deeper, not merely into the facts of the case, but into the philosophical, procedural, and ethical implications. It interrogates the very concept of justice in the Indonesian legal system. Three key legal theories structure the analysis. First, the theory of evidence. Indonesia's legal framework differentiates between legal and factual evidence. In Jessica's case, the reliance on indirect indicators like CCTV behavior, rather than hard forensic facts, raised red flags about evidentiary standards. Critics argue the ruling contradicted the in dubio pro reo principle. When in doubt, favor the defendant. Second, the theory of autopsy. Autopsy isn't just a medical procedure. It's a legal instrument. The limited examination conducted on Myrna failed to meet this standard. As one forensic expert testified, without a full autopsy, you can't reliably determine cause of death. And if the cause of death is unclear, how can you establish murder? Third, the theory of judicial consideration. Judges must weigh not only legal rules, but also morality, social perception, and public trust. In this case, the judges faced intense scrutiny. Their decision, though legally binding, remains controversial, possibly shaped as much by public expectation as by prosecutable facts. If the legal framework seemed shaky, the broader system didn't fare much better. The review draws sobering parallels with other high-profile Indonesian cases where forensic neglect or public pressure influenced outcomes, like the murder of human rights activist Munir Saidlib or the misclassified deaths in the Vina Cirebon case. These cases, together with Jessica's, reveal a deeper systemic issue. Justice falters when process is compromised. In 2024, after serving over 8 years of her sentence, Jessica Wongso was granted parole. That same year, she filed for a judicial review, citing new evidence that could exonerate her. If accepted, this review could reignite legal proceedings and perhaps, finally, settle the question that has haunted this case for nearly a decade. Was Jessica Kamala Wongso truly a murderer, or the victim of a justice system in search of certainty where none could be found? The Cyanide coffee case isn't just a legal drama. It's a reflection of the tightrope that modern justice walks between truth, procedure, and public opinion. As Indonesia grapples with reforms, the case stands as a stark reminder. When evidence is incomplete and narratives run wild, the cost of conviction may be borne not just by the accused, but by the credibility of justice itself.